Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Rank Masters. We are the critics of internet lists. I'm Trace, and that's...
Seth, hi, I'm Seth, hello, that's Trace.
Have we ever done... Okay, it's been a while since we've had a clean
I think
intro.
that was the cleanest intro we've ever had. All the clean ones are always yours. You know I can't do a good intro, but I'm glad that one went pretty well.
I know, I was waiting for something to go wrong. I was like, when is it gonna happen?
No, that was smooth, that was pretty good. I'm proud of us.
when is the thing gonna pop up that makes this not normal?
Probably when we start talking about the list. I mean, if it's not beforehand, it's during the list, because that's objectively how it works. It's either one of the two.
The list is always never normal. We can have the most straightforward list in the world, and then it just does not stay normal.
I was gonna say, if this is your first time listening to us, if this is your first episode of Rank Masters, we are the critics of internet lists. No, we aren't. Not really. We're just we just kind of let the list take us wherever we need to go and just go off the rails.
We never actually critique the list that much.
Enjoy our time on this wild ride that we're about to go on, because Trace picked the list this week, and I haven't read it yet. What is the list this week, Trace?
Yeah. So I saw this list. It was yesterday, I believe, when I was trying to figure out something. It is the 10 niche subcultures that are more popular than you might think.
Niche subculture. Okay. If furries aren't on there, I'm going to cry.
So yeah, I mean,
because I feel like most people don't think about furries.
There's a certain niche subculture that maybe you and I are a part of.
We're just a little bit more familiar with than most of the others. You know, that's okay.
We have an acquaintanceship with that niche subculture.
You and I are in a lot of niche subcultures, actually, and I'm curious how many of them we can stake ownership to.
I actually, I don't know if I'm in many niche
I don't know how many are
subcultures.
on this list, and I don't know what their threshold for niche is. But you and I are in a lot of subcultures in general, and some of them are pretty niche.
I think the only niche one I'm in is furry. I think like a Pokemon is super common.
Pokemon is more common than it used to be, yeah. More common than pre-Pokemon Go.
Yeah, Magic the Gathering is super
pretty niche.
common.
Actually,
no, that's so common.
No, it's common within the other subcultures you're in. You gotta realize outside of that, I don't know anyone who's not queer who's played Magic the Gathering.
Well, I mean, yeah, queer, but like the amount of normies, like just normal everyday people who just know what Magic the Gathering is like pretty. I believe it is the most popular like card game.
Is it?
That isn't Pokemon.
I was gonna say you have to qualify it because Pokemon's definitely number one. Okay, Magic makes sense as number two. And I would have thought Yu-Gi-Oh would have been number two because Yu-Gi-Oh's still really popular.
But Magic has been around way longer.
That's true.
Like, it's something that's it's been continuously going for so many years. So yeah, like I don't know how many of these things I would denote as niche.
Speaking of Magic, I found out recently the error that's on the back of every Magic card. I don't remember more details about it, but I remember watching a video and discovering that like there were 3 lines on the back of the Magic the Gathering card that they didn't intend to be there, but because they were on the very first print of the card, they have to be on every print of the card now because they want the backs to be uniform. And I just thought that was fascinating. And you're going to physically go get your cards to double check.
No, I'm not. I've been packing, so like there's a bunch of shit everywhere. Here we go. I've got a land that's in a sleeve.
So it's whatever. So you know how there's the Magic the Gathering logo, and then on the bottom, like there's another word there. I don't remember what the word is.
Oh, Deckmaster? Where it has like those weird little printing mistakes.
Apparently those 3 lines in like the TER were not intended to be there, but because they were in the first print, they have to be on all of them. And I found that out recently. I'm like, that's fascinating.
This thing is falling apart at the seams.
Audio listeners have no clue what's happening, but your deck holder is miserable.
Well, this isn't even a deck holder. This is like something I kept like my tokens in.
That's
for
a
really long
cardboard box.
Time. And then I spilt water on it, and then like it still has a few of the tokens in it, but it's mostly been defunct, and it's like now in a trash pile along with like a few other water damaged cards.
That's fair.
Are just going to be thrown away, which is where that loud, if you heard the loud boom of me moving something, that's what that was me like trying to pull it out of the thing that's the throwaway pile.
Yeah, you're prepping for a pretty big move, so you've got a lot of stuff that you got to prep to throw and prep to keep and all that stuff.
I have already donated like 2 full cars of stuff No, 3 full
You've
cars.
donated 2 cars? Wow.
Right, no, but yeah, 3 full cars.
Fucking richities over
of
here.
Stuff. And like, and there's still so much more to just get rid of and donate.
Yeah.
And like,
It
God,
happens.
I hate how much stuff I have.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's not fun. But oh well.
Anyway,
that's not the list.
Coming in at number 10 on the list.
If Magic winds up being on this list, we're both look like assholes later.
No,
I don't think it's on this list.
I know what's on
You
this
know what's
list.
on this list. That's fair. You wouldn't have brought it up.
Oh shit.
Did you lose the list?
Coming in at number 10 is Undertale. I remember that.
Undertale?
Undertale.
You mean to tell me that Undertale is more niche than Magic the Gathering?
Yeah, honestly.
How?
Because like I said, I can go up to a lot of like normal people who are not nerds or anything at all. And I can mention Magic the Gathering, and most of them, like not most of them, but a good number of them will know what that is. But if I go and talk about Undertale, not a lot of people know what that is, actually.
I don't know. I feel like you would be surprised. I feel like more people know about Undertale than most other video games. It's not a classic for sure. I think people are obviously going to recognize Pokemon and Mario more often. But if they have any knowledge of any video games recently, Undertale is going to be one of them. If you show someone a picture of Sans, they'll see, oh, I've seen that before.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but they're not going to think, oh, there's an entire community centered around this.
That's fair. That is true. Yeah, the Undertale community, you wouldn't expect it to be as dedicated as it is. I guarantee just mentioning Undertale, we don't usually get a lot of comments on our videos. We're going to get comments on our videos. If you mention Undertale, we're going to get some fucker in the comments correcting us for being wrong about something. That's just how it works.
Well, maybe there's something wrong in the article. Undertale started as a low-budget 2D role-playing game created by Toby Fox in 2015.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly, through its humor, pacifist message, and quiet levels of depth, caused it to find a cult audience among gamers.
Yeah.
All
true so far.
Yeah, but while most cult while with most cult hits, the fandom would stop at the game itself, Undertale was only the beginning as it happened. Pretty soon. Things had expanded into a webcomic, which reimagined certain scenes in a different light and enhanced fan-created battle scenes, or battle animations.
That's true. The fan has gone crazy with animations. Some of the wild, like, 3D ones you see out there are crazy.
I didn't even know there was, like, a comic. Like, I'm assuming it's a fan-created comic, or did, like, Toby Fox authorize a comic?
I don't know, actually. I know there's a ton of fan comics, for sure. I think it's possible Toby Fox did some like comics expansions. I know he's done some weird web stuff, but I don't remember any specific comics. And
then they talk about like, but that wasn't enough for fans. So pretty soon, entire alternate Undertale universes were created, including Underfell, Underswap, Outertale, and even the offshoot of the offshoot, Fellswap, just to name a few.
Hey, don't look up Undertale, spelt the wrong way.
And as if that wasn't wild enough, all these have their own fully developed fan games and separate communities with YouTube videos on them, often reaching millions of views.
Yeah, Undertale, the alternate universe fan-made Undertales are absolutely absurdly popular. And given that at its core, Undertale itself does not really discuss parallel universes or alternate universes very much, outside of the whole save mechanic. But then Deltarune exists, which is just objectively a parallel. Like, I see why the community is a huge. In case you can't tell, I'm part of this community. I love Undertale. I love Undertale and Deltarune. Not to the point where I make it my personality like a lot of people do, but it's a ton of fun. It's a blast.
Hey, I'm glad people have that. I remember watching Jacksepticeye play through Undertale.
Yeah, it's been quite some time.
And that was the only exposure to that game that I had. I've not watched anything with Deltarune.
Fair.
I know that some characters, like I know that like reuses a lot of characters, or I guess I don't know that. I'm currently looking for confirmation for that.
I feel like, given my knowledge of both and given my knowledge of you would like Deltarune more than you would like Undertale. But
interesting.
They do have a lot of commonalities.
Wait, why? Expand on that. Why would I like Deltarune more?
The story is incredibly different in a way that I think you would enjoy, but in a way that I don't want to spoil.
Are there hot single dads?
I mean, yes. Objectively, there is a hot single dad.
Is it Asgore? he is the hot single dad, or
yes, but more than he was in Undertale, if that makes sense. He is both more hot and more single. And more dad.
He is more interesting. How do you become more single?
Oh, you pretty easily can.
Oh, divorce?
I mean, he was divorced in Undertale. It's gotten a lot worse.
Yeah. Like, I
guess it wasn't legally divorced in Undertale because laws don't exist. But
laws don't exist. There's a whole entire kingdom. Laws have to exist.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Anywho,
number 9.
Yeah.
VHS collectors.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, this is a pretty. Is it really a culture? I don't feel like VHS collectors really talk with each other very much. I think they just collect them for their own collections.
I mean, if it's like vinyl records, then oh yeah, they're probably like talking to each other a bunch.
That's true. Yeah, vinyl is absolutely that. But with VHS, I don't notice that much communication. I used to date someone who was a VHS collector. I dated them for like 2 weeks, and then I just got too overwhelmed with all the VHSs.
They were everywhere. I kept on waiting. Like
one of our
deep,
dates,
I couldn't get anywhere.
One of our dates, we went thrift shopping, and they got like 6 VHSs, and it was crazy. And I'm like, good lord, this is too much. And they were all movies I'd never recognized. I know, but like, what for a date? Granted, thrift shopping for a date is in general. That was on me. That's my bad.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. I've taken some people out. Well, like I've asked them to take me out to like vinyl record stores so that I could look through them.
That's fair.
Maybe I scared them off. Maybe that's the reason.
Fair. This is one of those things where like if you're not really into VHSs, you won't understand the people who do. I grew up right as VHSs were switching to DVD, so I had some, right. But I guess I still technically have some I haven't been able to sell, and I don't really care for them.
I have some right now that I found when I was trying to get rid of all the stuff in my garage.
Oh, nice.
I think one of the most notable one was Lilo and Stitch.
Ooh, good movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, great movie. And I'm like, what am I gonna do with this?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you have Disney Plus.
Like, I get it. Like, yes, collective. Oh,
hello? Everything okay? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm contagious.
You've contaged me through the screen.
I've contaged you. It's been too long since we last made out. Clearly.
Like, I get it. Oh my God. Like, I get it. Collect physical media as much as you want. Like, especially in the era of streaming where we rely on large companies to keep things up for us.
Yeah.
And so often we just lose media now. Like, collect as much physical media as you want. I completely support. That's why I collect vinyl records. I mean, I also choose vinyl records because
they sound good.
Well, I don't fucking care. I don't even think. Okay.
Oh,
now you've got me on a soapbox.
Are we gonna get some weird comments now because of what you're about to say? Are you about to piss some people off?
Probably. I don't think records have a higher fidelity than most other forms of physical media. Like tapes are bad. CDs are probably
tapes are rough.
As comparable to any vinyl record as you can imagine. And like most people don't have even the equipment to like make records sound the absolute best that they can.
That is a factor. That's dependent on your speaker.
Records don't sound as like records aren't the end all be all in sound quality. The best sound quality you're ever going to get is digital.
That is true, which is sad.
And well, then that's not sad. Like you can still own like a hard drive full of all of your favorite songs.
True.
I would consider that to be physically like having your physical media. But no, I love vinyl records because they're sturdy. Like a lot of people think vinyls are, super fragile. They're not. Like I'm much more worried about handling a CD than I am a vinyl record.
CDs break easily and they scratch easly. Oh my God, CDs suck.
Incredibly crazy.
I hate CDs.
Bad form of media like, that we had there for a few years. No. But then also like the artwork is super big and like artists have started to be really creative with their releases, like making colored vinyl and like releasing posters inside the vinyl folder. Like
it is a separate art form. The physicality of vinyls are absolutely art. I get that.
But I cannot stand people who are like, I only listen to vinyl records because that's the best sound quality. When objectively, it's not. Like, it is not.
People are just pretentious. Can you blame them? I want to be pretentious. If I can be pretentious, I want to be pretentious.
But,
anywho.
So obviously, this doesn't matter to some, though, because VHS collecting has reached all new heights in the last few years. In some cases, high-quality graded copies of rare videos have fetched upwards of $10,000. So if you're one of those horror movie aficionado kids in the 80s, or had a treasure trove of Disney VHSs in the 90s, now might be the time to cash in. VHSs
surprised.
are the new Beanie Babies.
I'm surprised they're only 10,000. Because a lot of physical media from back in like the 80s, 90s, I've seen go for higher, especially in the video game markets.
Oh my God. I was I was on Facebook Market because I've been selling shit on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. I was on Facebook Marketplace the other day and this thing popped up and it was literally like those plastic flimsy eclipse glasses. And someone was selling them for $5,000.
Why? Why?
he was like, only used once during the eclipse. No lowball offers. I know what I have here.
Do they not realize that they're being made often and that eclipses aren't that common?
I hope. No, the point is...
The demand is high, but the supply is absurdly high. Like, holy shit.
I think the point that they're trying to say here is that they were eclipse glasses specifically for the 2024 eclipse. So it's like a commemorative thing that people would buy.
I get it, but I don't know. I have not the flimsy ones. I have like actual like hard plastic, basically real glasses, but for eclipse glasses. And I'm keeping those for the next eclipse I get to. Like, if I would like to go...
20 years?
No.
Or are you going to go to Spain?
I was planning now to go to Iceland for the 2026 one.
Oh,
or
Iceland.
Australia for the 2028 one. Because I missed Totality. I've never seen Totality yet. I really want to, because fuck, that sounds fascinating.
When we were... No, because you weren't in college yet.
I was not in college. There was an eclipse that went through my hometown in high school. But we didn't get totality. We got like 98%, I think. So the sky got dark, but it didn't get like, or the sky got dim, but it was still clearly day. And I've heard the difference between 99 and complete is absurd. And I want to see complete totality at some point.
Well, you and I were on the exact same like line.
Yeah, we were on the line.
Yeah, because I also had like 98%. Like it was so close. Like if I would have just traveled, that was back when I didn't drive. So I couldn't, and I didn't know anyone, but if I would have just traveled like, what was it, like 60 miles north, then I could have gotten totality. Like, it was super, super close, and that was crazy. Like, I thought that was cool, and I didn't get totality this year, because I had to save money for the move.
Yeah, I was a few, oh my god. Okay, where I live now, would have been 99.5% totality in 2017. Where I lived previously was 98%. That's sad. I just missed it by a few hours. If I cared about that, I could have convinced my parents to drive, but I was only 17.
Yeah, like I still kind of regret that, and I kind of regret not going this time. Like, I think we had 80%.
Yeah, we had about 90, but I didn't get to see it at 90 because I was at work. So I got like my 30-minute lunch break, and the most I saw was 60 this year.
Yeah,
but I went out for 2026 or 2028. I want to fucking go. I want to travel for it.
Well, I finally have my passport, so
Yay!
Like, I can actually travel internationally. So
I think mine will need to be renewed by then. So I'll have to get a new one. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that I have it now, and renewing is a lot easier than just getting a.
That's very true. I just hope I can afford to travel by then. You know?
Oh, yeah. I'm hoping that I will also be able to travel at that point, like, a lot more. Like, I think I can travel. I can travel pretty decently now. I want to be able to travel even more securely coming up.
Yes. And I think if I stick with my current job for 2 more years, I wouldn't have an issue with traveling. The problem is I don't want to stick with my current job. I want to be a video editor, but that shit is very hard to find a way to get paid well, so I don't know. If anyone's hiring video editors for like actual pay, that'd be nice.
Yeah, like for an actual okay living wage.
Yeah,
and not like $5 an hour.
hard. I mean, I charge $30 an hour for editing, but the hard part is getting enough hours a week for that to be worthwhile.
That's true.
Because like now with my rate, I get like 1 or 2 videos a month. And that's not a lot. That's not a lot. All right, moving on. Moving past videos, is there anything more you want to talk about with VHS?
Nope. Number 8, we have Juggalos.
I am aware of what Juggalos are, but I do not know much more beyond that.
Isn't your roommate a Juggalo? Well, like, not a Juggalo, but like a fan of Insane Clown Posse?
Not that I'm aware. She's never told me if so.
I feel like her and I have talked about this. I don't know.
She may have talked with you about this. She's never brought it up around me. Are you thinking of the fact that she's pagan? Because those are two very different things.
No. I don't. Yeah. Aren't those the same thing? Like, don't you think?
I know some people who mix them up. No, yeah, those are very different things.
I've met.
You've met my roommate? Oh.
No, I've met one of the people in Insane Clown, but like one of the two.
Shit,
people.
Really? Hell yeah.
Yeah, they were at MFF with their daughter.
Aw, oh, that rules.
Yeah, have you not seen the Insane Clown Posse like suit scam video?
No? Huh?
Because what the hell is his name?
Insane or Clown Posse?
Yeah, is he the Insane or is he the Clown Posse? I can't remember, but his daughter is a furry, and they ordered her a fursuit, but it was one of those scam fursuits.
God, there's so many scam fursuits. They suck. I hate those.
It's super bad, but then they got like a real fursuit for her, and then they made a video that was like pretty much a PSA being like, don't buy scam fursuits, and it's very fun and cute and wholesome, and I really, really love it. But yeah, he has like a fursuit now that he also wears with his daughter. And cool. Yeah, they've gone to MFF, I think, a couple of times, or
That's
just
really
once.
Fun.
But I know the one year that they were there, I stopped them. Well, we were right next to each other. I was like, oh, can I get a photo? And he's like, sorry, not right now. Like, we actually are about to go to a panel, so I've got to head out.
Makes sense.
Nice to meet you. And I was like, yeah, nice to meet you, which is really cool.
Cool. I don't know much more beyond that, though. I didn't even know that.
I think it's super cool. Like, you know?
Yeah. This is a niche. This is a niche subculture. And one that I am not very familiar with. So if you or the article have anything notable to say about it, please read the article.
Yeah, a lot of bands have dedicated fan followings. However, the level of dedication that fans of the Insane Clown Posse have in showing their love for the group is on another level altogether. And that's because being a juggalo isn't a fandom for those involved. No, it's a lifestyle. One that involves only drinking certain drinks such as Faygo.
What did you just say?
Faygo? Faggo?
Wait a minute, Trace.
Wearing branded gear authorized by the band, and of course painting your face in full clown makeup. Then
as is necessary.
Once all that's done, you're ready to attend one of the annual gatherings of the Juggalos events, which are music festivals put on by the ICP, Insane Clown Posse.
You know what? I'm so glad you clarified. I had no idea what ICP could have stand for.
They have been seen.
They have even seen.
Stop it. They have even seen big stars such as Busta Rhymes and Ice Cube show up and show their love. Just make sure you take care. Just make sure you take care if you go, though, because if you're not showing the right gang signs or making the correct response to a whoop whoop call, you may fall prey to one of the rare violent juggalo gangs. Yes, from time to time, they've been known to get physical with their more pacifist and community outreach based counterparts, so be wary. I don't know if I've ever met a juggalo that's been mean. That's just
I do know one of the things I'm familiar with, because we talked about this in my anthropology class, is that most of the Insane Clown Posse is like incredibly pacifist. I'm glad they touched on that at the end. Also, this article is not very well written. Like you're struggling to read it, and I'm making jokes over it because I know you usually struggle every now and then. Even I'd be struggling with some of it, like with that previous VHX shit. What was it? What was that one section? There was one part that was like really weirdly written.
I don't know. Most of these list sites are like weirdly written.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I like how they list their fact checker.
That is nice.
At the top of the article, they're like, by Stephen Clark, fact checked by Darcy
Heikkinen?
I think so.
I think that's how it's pronounced.
Which I think is really cool.
That is neat. I do like fact checkers. But I've never heard of an insane Clown Posse fan.
No, I've only heard of lovely Insane Clown Posse fans.
Yeah.
And whether it was Insane or Clown Posse, whichever one I met, they were very nice.
Pop off. I'm a huge fan of Insane. I've got beef with Clown Posse myself, though.
Yeah. At number 7, we have longtime viewer of the show.
Huh?
Foot fetishists.
No! Fuck! Anything but foot fetishists! No! This isn't a subculture. This is just a kink.
Yeah,
I don't know. Okay, yeah, kinks are subcultures. You're right. You're right.
It's like I think this is hilarious. This is like a long-running joke that we stopped making, and now
we need to bring it back. That was like a season 1 joke, and we didn't mention it all in season 2.
No, foot fetishists. The joke is I don't like foot fetishists. I think
and it's a joke because half of our audience are into feet. Yeah, statistically, 1 in 3 people are into feet.
Statistically,
and I'm not into feet. Trace isn't into feet, so that means whoever's listening must be into feet. So all of our audience is into feet. That's just how it works.
all of our audience is into feet.
All of our audience is into feet. That's just how this works. If you're listening to us right now, I'm sorry. This has been prescribed to you.
You've been assigned foot fetishist.
You've been assigned foot fetishist.
No, I don't get it. It's like one of those kinks that I don't understand fully, but I'm happy that you exist. But no kink shaming here. That's what the article says.
That's what the article says. You're absolutely kink shaming.
While it may not be this writer's thing, everyone has something they're into.
Hold on. No. Stop that. Every time I hear someone say, well, it's not my thing, that's absolutely their thing. I think this writer's into it. Anyway, continue.
If not, the fact checker surely is.
The fact checker, absolutely.
Well, that may not be this writer's thing. Everyone has something they're into, and as long as it's legal and consensual, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what? Honestly,
based.
Yeah,
based.
You're right.
That rules. That's a good outtake on it.
That said, it's still somewhat puzzling on the surface of things as why foot fetishism has gained such a large following around the world. God, I was taking fursuit photos for a fursuit making friend.
Yeah.
And like,
do you want to shout out their business or nah?
No.
I figured. Okay.
So we can after you get your fursuit from them, maybe.
Hey! Don't tell anybody. I was keeping that. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's not actually a secret.
Bleep this entire conversation. No, I was taking fursuit photos for them, and there was another photographer there, Lewis. He was taking photos as well. I
love how you just dropped the name of the other photographer, but not the suit maker.
Well, everyone knows a Lewis.
That's true. There's a lot of Lewises out there.
So I'm like, oh, cool, you know, Lewis, this makes me feel more comfortable because, like, if my photos suck, then at least Lewis's photos will be there.
Was Lewis only photographing feet?
No.
I'm like, how does this tie into the foot fetish stuff? I'm curious.
So I was taking photos, and like I had gotten down closer to the ground, and I noticed Lewis is wearing like flip flops.
Yes.
And in my infinite wisdom, I'm like, it'd be so funny if I took a photo of his feet right now.
Oh no!
And so,
Trace,
in between
what
taking
have you
photos
done?
of the fursuit, I have a giant camera. I'm not on my phone, so it's very obvious that I point it right directly at his feet and take the photo.
Trace, you've become one of the 3.
No. Anyway, no one actually saw me do it. So I was like, well, that was boring. So I stood up and I was like, hey, Lewis, can you look at my photos and see if they're any good? And
Trace, this is a cry for help. This is absolutely a cry for help.
I was like, yeah, just like flip through them real quick. See if there's any ones that you really like. And he starts flipping through them, and then it lands on his feet. And he's like, what is this? And I was like, oh, shit, I'm sorry, man. I'll just...
Trace, I think we need to have a word at the end of this episode. When we're done recording, you and I need to have a talk. Good Lord.
I thought I was hilarious, and Lewis actually also thought it was very hilarious.
That's fair. Just know that he can sell it.
Yeah, he ended up He's actually like a photographer for a lot of bear events, which is really cool.
Cool.
And I really like his
grizzlies or polar bears or like what? The
gay kind.
Oh, for real? All right, moving on. I don't want to talk about feet any longer than we need to. Let's move on. Because I just went to the doctor and she froze my fucking foot. I stepped on a rock, it got infected, and the only way to fix it was cryotherapy.
Interesting.
So I'm having to constantly trade out bandages, and it's been bleeding since Tuesday, and it's not fun.
Gross.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
So all the foot fetishists, think about that for a minute.
Yeah, everyone collectively lost their foot fetish together.
Good. I'm changing the world for the better.
At number 6 is a community that I consider myself to be a part of.
What is it?
Flat Earthers.
Please say ironically. Please say ironically. Please say ironically.
Oh, super ironically.
Thank God.
No, don't you understand? They want to keep from us the fact that there is a giant ice wall that is around the plate of the Earth. And the government is keeping from us that we don't orbit the sun. We're still, and the sun actually goes around.
Clearly. Minecraft. It's Minecraft rules.
It's Minecraft rules.
Yeah.
Everything is flat. The sun just appears somehow. Now, I think it is both incredibly horrible and hilarious to think that the Earth is flat.
It is really funny. It is actively dangerous, but it is really funny.
Like the belief itself of thinking the Earth is flat is not inherently dangerous. Everything else that community brings with it for some reason, is bad.
For some reason, I don't know why flat earthers are so like overlapping with many other conspiracies, specifically like anti-Semitic conspiracies, and it's wild. I think just most conspiracies wind up boiling down to anti-Semitism for some reason, and it sucks, and I hate it. But if you ignore that, then flat earths are funny.
And I love conspiracy theories. I mean, you can't really see it right now because my room is dark, but like literally the fucking I want to believe poster.
What do you mean you can't see it? If you've been listening to this for more than one episode, it's been mentioned before.
Yeah, the iconic I want to believe poster, which is from the X-Files, which is one of my favorite shows.
It was included in the fan art we got for 1 year anniversary. It was included in the fan art. Yeah.
Okay, because it's iconic.
Yeah. Thank you again, Dangster McMeme. That was a great fan art. I still love that one.
Thank you again, Dangster McMeme.
They have it. I found out they have a different name on Blue Sky.
The Blue
Square.
But
Dangster McMeme is the name that they use in like my Discord server and my Twitch chat. So I'm like, that's the one I'm going to continue using.
I'm so happy for you, Dangster McMeme. Anyway, flat earthers. I'm going to read what the article says before I get it anymore. It's easy to mock flat earthers.
True.
For their out there beliefs.
True.
But in the spirit of being non-judgmental.
I can't blame the article on that one.
No, that's just...
that was just you.
Let's try to figure out why the movement has become so popular. Could it be that these folks have become disenfranchised with the world and are looking for an answer that might help them make sense of things? Choose religion like a normal bigot. Sure, the last few years have taught us that...
Do you really think that most of these flat earthers aren't Christians?
Maybe they are, but get their stuff together. Sure.
Fair.
The last few years have taught us all that the conspiracy theory rabbit hole can be a dangerous one to fall down.
Yeah.
But flat earthers in themselves aren't doing any harm. No, on their own, they're just a pretty quickly growing community of people who've come together online to share their ideas on why Copernicus and Galileo were wrong. And this has led to full-blown conventions where folks who believe in the flatness of the globe can meet up in person. It's now reached a point to where some celebrities, such as basketball player Kyrie Irving and rapper B.O.B., have publicly expressed, shout out Bobby Ray, have publicly expressed their suspicions as to whether or not the accepted model of things is correct.
I hate celebrities. Celebrities are stupid. Fuck celebrities.
I don't know. I am one of those people who like have a guilty pleasure of watching and reading celebrity gossip. And it sucks. And every time, and I want to preface this, every time I read an article that's like super negative, I always think, it could be a bad moment. It could just be like a one-off thing.
Maybe
I'm
they're
never
just
actually
having a
judging
tough
these people.
time. Maybe they're not actually a bad person. I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
You want to sympathize with people you think you have an emotional attachment to.
Right. Well, and not even that. Just like, even if I hate the person, I'm like, I don't actually know who this person is.
That's also fair.
I just have such a morbid curiosity of that culture that I've somehow become a part of it.
This is why we need to stop thinking about flat Earth. I know it's a joke, but you need to stop, Trace. It's gonna hurt.
Eventually, I'm gonna start believing in the flat Earth.
Eventually, start.
You're so right. I already believe in the flat Earth.
Yeah, we know.
Haven't you ever looked at the horizon? There's no curve there. It's just straight.
God, I
have lived in Kansas for a number of years. It's flat.
It's flat.
The world is
That's
flat.
True. Kansas is flat, therefore the entire world is flat.
Exactly.
Kansas is the entire world.
There's no other. There's no other.
Have you ever read that Stephen King book or the show based on it called Under the Dome?
Under the Dome? No.
That was a weird show. It's like, I don't remember if it actually took place in Kansas or just some other like mostly rural area, kind of like Kansas. But either a city or a town or something along those lines got like domed off, and no one really understood what it was. And I don't remember much about the plot of it. I remember at one point they nuked the dome, and nothing happened. But I remember when the dome came down, there was a like very graphic image of just a cow getting cut in half by the dome, and I'm like, good lord, this is a gruesome show. And my mom and I were obsessed with it for a while.
You get obsessed with like the not you, but like the royal you.
Yes,
everyone gets obsessed with some weird show.
For me back then, it was The Blacklist, Walking Dead, Sherlock, and Under the Dome. And I don't know why. Actually, Snowpiercer was a little bit later, but those were kind of the shows that I was obsessed with as a kid for some reason. Oh, and Doctor Who, but that was more me than my mom.
Yeah, I for some reason, like the most recent weird show that I think I got obsessed with was Winona Earp.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, I think it was on the Sci-Fi Channel. I don't know. It was like put on Netflix later, and
Fair.
I watched all of it. I want to say in 2021 was when that happened. But
Okay.
I kind of got obsessed with the show, and it's about like a descendant of Wyatt Earp. But the whole entire thing is that actually Wyatt Earp was killing demons and not just outlaws. And then every few generations, like those demons come back because they're demons. They don't die. They just
so it's
come
Castlevania.
back. Yeah.
It's actually just Castlevania.
It's just
That's
Castlevania,
exactly what it is.
but Old West. Okay. There's literally an immortal man too.
Wait, hold on.
Like,
what if Simon Belmont was a cowboy?
So there's even an immortal character like Alucard who like is like so, and that's Doc Holliday is an immortal character in this story and has come back again.
Okay.
Not come back, but is still alive and helps the Earps. So like, you're so right. It's Castlevania, but
it's literally just Cowboy Castlevania.
Old West. It's Cowboy Castlevania.
That's amazing.
And I love it.
I'm now very invested in this. I haven't seen it, but I'm curious.
But it's so kitschy and like it's very much like it doesn't have the highest of budgets. But God, I loved it. And the show ended up being canceled, so like it doesn't have a complete story. But it was so fun to watch. It's the same as like Lost Girl, I think. Is that the name of that show?
Have not heard of that one either.
That's one that I was kind of obsessed with.
We needed a list of like weird shows that we were once obsessed with, but aren't anymore.
I love things with like a supernatural. Yes, I was a supernatural girly.
Really? You? No way. I never would have
right.
guessed.
You were the who and Locke part of that fandom. I was the super part of that
That's
fandom.
true. Yeah, you were the super. I was, honestly, as much as I was obsessed with Doctor Who and Sherlock, I enjoyed Merlin more than any of it.
Interesting.
Merlin was a great show.
I always thought I would enjoy Merlin, but I never watched it.
It's free on YouTube. The entire series is completely free.
It's just free on YouTube.
Yeah, so like series 1 you have to find in a playlist for some reason because it's not like organized properly. But from series 2 to like I think the end of it, I think it ended in series 5. All of that is just available directly in the YouTube store, but it's free. Like, you don't, unlike with most of the shows on the YouTube store, you don't have to rinse or buy it. It's just completely free.
You just watch it.
Yeah, you just straight up watch
Damn.
it. So if anyone has YouTube, you can watch the entirety of Merlin right now.
Well, another show that I thought that I should watch sometime and I still haven't gotten around to is True Bloods.
I've heard True Bloods is good. I don't know.
Comes in at number 5 with vampires.
That was a good transition.
That was
smooth. That was smooth. I'm proud of you. Now, okay, vampires.
I have actually really wanted to watch True Blood. I watched the first 2 episodes with my sister-in-law.
So when you say vampires, are you just talking about people who enjoy vampire media, or are you talking about the culture of people who like are like acting like vampires and consume blood and stuff?
Yes, the vampire as a pop culture phenomenon has been popular since the days of Bram Stoker. Not Stroker.
Bram what?
Bram Stoker, that's my point.
Damn, is that how they've been making that Brahms ice cream? What the fuck? That's a joke.
Shadows.
That's a joke no one else is gonna get outside the Midwest.
I mean, I think... No, you're right.
Brahms is like here. Brahms is Kansas and Oklahoma and like nowhere else. It's crazy.
and rice. But the idea of people in the modern day actually being vampires is surely fiction created by movies. Except it's not, because over the last few decades, vampirism as a lifestyle choice has grown exponentially. Sure, it's not like it's gotten to the point where you're seeing the supposed undead walking down the street on a daily basis, but around the world, millions of people self-identify under this banner. Do they actually believe they're blood-sucking fiends, though? Well, for the most part, no. They're fully aware they're alive and well, however, through the popularity of role-playing games like Vampire: The Masquerade, and the success of franchises such as Blade and Twilight, 2 very different franchises. Many practitioners have gone all in. Also, I'm actually very excited about the new Blade movie stuff.
It does look interesting from what I've heard, yeah.
I used to be obsessed, because there was like 2 Blade movies, right?
I don't know.
Early 2000s?
I don't think I've seen anything of Blade outside the comics. And even the comics are pretty limited.
Because my brother and I were obsessed with like at least the first Blade movie, but I'm pretty sure there's 2 Blade movies and we were obsessed with both of them.
Makes sense. Obsessed being you barely remember.
Well, because it's been so many years. Like, I haven't watched those movies since I was in elementary school. So,
fair.
But during that time, obsessed. We watched them multiple times.
Dang, fair.
So much so, in fact, that some will even sleep in coffins, feed off the psychic energy of others, or, in the case of sanguinarians, drink human blood.
I love the term sanguinarian. I don't know why, but that's just such a pretentious term for drinking blood.
I just call myself a sucker.
You call yourself a what now?
A sucker.
A what now? Anywho, I don't know much about the subculture. I mean, obviously vampire media and like movies and stuff. Fascinating.
It's fascinating. I've always been a much more of a...
calls themselves a vampire, though.
Yeah, I've always much more been a werewolf girl myself.
Fair. IRL too.
As should be, noted. Definitely more of a werewolf girl.
What do you think the solar eclipse did to werewolves?
Like a half amalgamation.
That's fair.
It was a very painful, like during the time that the moon was in front of the sun, like the totality, very painful, like 10 minutes. Horribly excruciating.
Oh no, that's horrible.
No, my favorite. Did you want a different answer?
No, I know I like the trope of like with lunar eclipses because the moon gets blocked by the Earth. I'm like, I know the trope is like they stop being a vampire for like 10 minutes during that, but I'm like, I haven't thought about solar eclipse stuff. That would be fun.
No, I did love that after on Twitter, like on furry Twitter, after the eclipse, there's like a bunch of people posting like, guys, the eclipse did something to me, and it was like just a picture of like their fursuit paw just like out. Like
that's a good trope. I like that. It was
very
trope.
Good.
At
number 4,
I should have made a joke like that on Blue Sky. I should have been that creative. My bad.
Yeah, really slacking there. Number 4, we have off-grid living.
I know a lot of people that have discussed off-grid living. I don't know anyone who's currently off the grid because I think that kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, because I think then they would be on the grid again.
Then I think they'd be on the grid, yeah.
I have heard so many gay people being like, "Oh, we need to have like a commune,
A gay commune, yeah.
a gay commune, where it's just all of your friends living out on a ranch somewhere or a farm somewhere."
I think so many queer people love that idea, and then they don't realize they wouldn't have Tumblr.
Yeah, like all you limp-wristed queers. I don't think you're gonna make it. I wouldn't make it.
Conceptually, I like the idea of off-grid living. I also like the internet. I like having the grid. It's kind of nice.
There's a reason why I don't want to go live on a farm again.
That's fair.
I've had that life.
That's true. Yeah, you've lived it far more than I did. It was it's not fun.
Well, one of my favorite things is I've shown you like on the satellite where I lived, right?
Yes.
Like out in the middle of
nowhere, yeah.
Yeah. That could so easily become an off the grid living situation. Like,
oh, probably.
So close. So close.
I think it would be nice to have somewhere you can go to be off the grid. I don't think I could live there 24/7. I think that's like a nice, like a week escape or something.
Oh yeah, I would do it for like a week. But the food would have to already be prepared for me, and I wouldn't have to like harvest it myself.
Mr. Beast video, can you live off the grid for a year?
Oh God, don't give him ideas.
The only food you're allowed is the deliveries from my sponsor, Factor Nug.
I don't know why my web page keeps crashing, but
probably
I guess
because you're on your phone.
Listverse is just horribly optimized.
Listverse is I've noticed even on my computer it's not running very well, and I've got like ad block and everything. It's rough. By the way, we got this list from Listverse in case you didn't pick up on that. We didn't say it earlier.
Yeah, sorry.
We sometimes do, sometimes we don't.
Credit where you get your stuff from. Which you can always find our lists down in the description.
Yeah, I always ask for the link and make sure that's always in the description. So, and that's true on any platform, be it YouTube or an actual audio platform. Link will always be in the description.
Yeah,
proud of this.
Support the people that we steal these ideas from. No, I want to
support
get this.
The people we critique in fair use. We're critiquing their articles.
Right, we are critiquing. This is
legitimate.
This is a great article so far. Good job. In recent years, though, off-grid living has gained a whole new level of popularity due to the focus it's been giving via apps like TikTok.
Hold on. I don't think that counts anymore.
I want you all to know that you can't have TikTok if you're off-grid.
I wonder, I don't use TikTok very often. I like browse it once a month. I wonder if the trope is just going out and finding someone who's living off the grid and like filming them or something. Or staging it and pretending that you're living off the grid and, making videos of that.
I think there's also like the YouTube videos. Have you seen of like
there's a lot of
like they kind of do off-grid living, but the fact that they can create a video and then upload it to the internet.
They gotta go down to their local public library to upload it, though.
I think there's a way that they're getting around it that I'm just not privy to, and they're actually like driving an hour into town to upload their video. Well, to edit their video, upload it, and then take their fancy digital camera back.
You can have a computer while living off the grid. You can have electricity. Solar panels exist, wind power exists, water power exists. Electricity is a possibility for living off the grid. It's just you can't have access to communications. That's the primary thing. Now, most people off the grid take it further. They don't have access to any electricity. But electricity is not a requirement.
You're right. People can have electricity off the grid now.
Yeah, they're not Amish.
You're right.
Actually, which Amish people are on the grid, which I think is really funny.
Shout out the Amish. Love you.
Shout out the Amish. All right, moving on.
Number 3, we have extreme body modders.
This part bothers me so much. I'm gonna have to not look at the thumbnail for that video.
Yeah, don't look at the thumbnail of the video. So I'm assuming
body modding does give me the ick hardcore, and I don't know why. I respect anyone who likes it. It hurts my eyes and my sense of my own body.
You know what? I was going to ask you a question. You've already answered it, but I remember going to like the Scholastic Book Fair and picking up the Ripley's Believe It or Not books. And
I think that's where this started for me. Yeah.
So many.
There was a lot in the Ripley stuff.
Of those pages were dedicated to like body modders. Like there was like that one guy who wanted to be a cat. which respect.
Honestly, yeah, I don't blame him.
We'll recognize as real.
Who doesn't want to be a cat? Cats are great.
But like he had like done facial surgery to like give his, kind of that like cat like look on his face.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild. I used to like all the time be like, wow, why would you do that? That's kind of cool. And that's also kind of like where I started to appreciate tattoos more, which I still have never gotten a tattoo. I love tattoos so much. I've wanted to get one for so long, but I'm always like, there's something better I can put my money on right now.
Tattoos are fine for me. I do enjoy tattooing, and I've thought about getting a tattoo myself. Hard part is just I don't know what I'd want to get tattooed. I feel like I'd want to design it myself, but I don't have anything emotionally impactful that's like important enough I want to have this on my body forever. But like even piercings kind of bother me a little bit. And I don't know why, especially anything like genital, like PAs, I have to like click off of a chat if I see one in there. I don't know why. It hurts me, and I can't. I think psychologically, I'm like imagining how that feels on my own body, and I don't like it. And that's it's not a hatred of anyone who does it. Like mad respect to anyone who enjoys modifying their body.
And like, we have friends who have PAs.
Yeah, I have friends who have PAs. I have friends that have all piercings all over their body and tons of tattoos. I have friends that do weird stuff with their earlobes and their lips and stuff. I'm like, I respect it. I cannot. It's hard for me to witness. It's like looking at a graphic injury on someone's body. Like I just feel gross to it for some reason.
Interesting. The only thing that I'd ever have pierced is my nipples.
Fair. That's fair.
Like, I don't think I would look good with like ears pierced. And I don't want any like genital piercings, but I think I'd look good with nipple piercings. But I'm too afraid of the pain.
I do agree. I think you would look good with nipple piercings. I would require you to keep your shirt on. I wouldn't be able to see it.
Your shirt stays on all the fucking time. All right.
Fair. I also just feel like I'd be worried about like it accidentally like ripping something, like because I just fiddle with my body every now and then, and I'm just
That's fair. Oh God, I'm sorry.
It was the sound effect.
2.
I'm sorry. Moving on. Okay, number 2. I'm gonna close my eyes while I scroll down. Okay.
We have competitive tickling.
I scrolled down before this, so I saw this unfortunately, but yeah, I am aware of this one. Gee, I wonder why. Competitive tickling is intense.
Competitive tickling is something we're all familiar with.
We are?
Whether we've used it to make a baby laugh, tease a loved one, or get mercilessly tickled ourselves during a play fight.
That's
Every one of us has no doubt experienced it at some point. That's what the kids are calling it nowadays.
Play fights.
But while most people feel it to be a somewhat unpleasant experience, others enjoy it a lot. So much so that in recent years, competitive tickling has emerged as a new alternative sport. Is that what the kids are calling it nowadays? As the name suggests, this sees opponents tickle one another with the goal of being... What?
With the goal of being to last as long as possible before giving up.
Thank you for saying that out loud, because that sentence was not making sense in my head.
No worries, I got it. I got you, babe.
Unfortunately, though, there's also a certain degree of controversy surrounding the upstart movement, as some have accused it of allowing for a lot of bullying.
I mean, I guess. I don't...
On top of that, others have argued it's made it easier for people to groom young men for more pornographic content down the line. So if you're thinking of signing up for your first local tournament, make sure to look into it first.
So first of all, again, this is something I am a little bit more familiar with. Fuck it, I guess I'll just say it. I have a tickle fetish. I am into tickling.
Very brave of you to say on that.
Very brave of me. I mean, we've confessed to worse things for sure.
Have we?
Yes. I have at least. Anywho, I just remember that my mom listens to podcasts. Whoops, I forgot about that. Nope, you know what? Hey, I've already said it. I'm not taking that back. But I do know.
We can edit the video.
I'm not going to. This is fine. This is A-okay with me.
The video.
Fuck it. What are you going to do about it? But I do know competitive tickling. I know there's a lot of controversy about it specifically for that. Like, yeah, it's grooming, but I don't think it actually is. I think everyone who signs up for competitive grooming knows that it's sexual. Like, for everyone in this, it's a kink thing. For most of the people in this, it's a kink thing.
Is it?
You have to have, like, a full, like, body bondage stocks, like, stuff. Like, even just looking at the thumbnail here, like, this is pretty mild, but this is required for competitive tickling. And it is a thing, and it is definitely a kink thing. I don't know anyone who's into this that's for non-kink reasons.
Would this be like a party idea at a furry convention?
Oh, absolutely. There are tickle parties. I've been to 3.
Interesting. Well, I started to think, okay, this is...
I've been to 3 fur cons. Think about that.
This is extreme. Sorry, your mom. Do you know what a horse party is, or a horse sale party?
I thought you were just going to say, do you know what a horse is? I'm like, yes, I do know that.
Yeah. Do you know what a horse is?
Is a horse party where everyone takes ketamine, or...
No, that's just a normal twink rave.
You're so right. You're so right.
I gotta make sure I got this right. I have not thought about this in like a year, I think.
I'll just try to riff while you look it up. I don't know what a horse party is. If I were to guess... no, it's not. It can't be solely like horse sonas. Is that like where people wear like wearables? Like toys, like strap-ons over their cock or something that makes them like horse cocks? I doubt it. That seems too tame. That seems too tame for what you're thinking about. What could you be thinking about? Is that where like they flog each other, or are you thinking pony play?
Okay, I can't find where, because I bring up a horse stable party and like it's just a bunch of like birthday parties at a horse stable. That's not what I'm
Wait, hold on. Okay, no, stable parties I've heard. Is that where like people get like full body latex horse suits and like the hooves and whatnot?
No, you don't. It's not that. So you don't have to be into pony play, and sometimes there's no ponies involved. What it is like people are labeled as either stallions or mares.
Sure.
And like the mares do not get to like see, like they're usually blindfolded.
Okay.
But they have to be available, wink wink, nudge nudge, during the party to be used whenever
a stallion wants. I see.
Yes. And like there usually is like stalls that sometimes like the mares are even like strapped down, like it's all just like it's like emulating horse breeding.
That does sound fun, actually.
I'm dancing around this as much as I possibly can.
They're having sex. They're having weird bondage sex, and it's fun. They're enjoying their lives.
But yeah, I was almost invited to one of those.
Almost invited? How are you almost invited?
Well,
what is the difference between being almost invited and being invited here? Hold on. Please elaborate. This I'm curious about.
As in, like, a friend was invited and wanted me to go.
So you were invited?
But it was a closed party, and they couldn't get an extra invite, so...
Okay.
That's why
you know what? Now that makes sense as to why almost invited makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, that does sound fun, actually.
I wouldn't have gone, though. I think that's just a little too extreme for me.
I respect you for that.
Gays are so fucking weird. At number 1, we have pro wrestling.
Hey! Yeah, that's not really that niche. I feel like more people know about pro wrestling than that.
Yeah, that's not really niche.
I don't know why this is number 1 on it.
People know that's like a very large industry, right? Like that makes a lot of money, right?
This list was getting more and more niche until pro wrestling at the bottom.
Yeah, pro wrestling being number 1. Like, what do they say? How do they justify this? If you grew up in the 80s, then there's a good chance a large part of your childhood revolved around Hulkamania. And if you came of age in
the 90s, there's an equally good chance that more of your time was spent watching Stone Cold Steve Austin kick ass every week. Now you can continue.
Since then, though, the popularity of pro wrestling has very much waned in the mainstream, never really finding the same level of success.
That's true.
Among general audiences again. But that shouldn't suggest it still isn't a... Sorry, I saw the word huge, and I started thinking of the stupid fucking horse party again.
Oh my God, Trace.
But that
you got a one-track mind, baby.
It isn't still a hugely popular subculture. It is, and it's so big... And it's so big of a deal,
baby.
Not only do the 2 biggest wrestling companies in North America, WWE and AEW, regularly fill out arenas... But as a result of increased TV rights fees, they're also now more profitable than ever. And when it comes to the latter major calendar event, WrestleMania,
baby!
This can regularly draw in people from all over the world, each of whom have come to see a spectacle unlike any other. Yeah, I don't think that deserved number one. I think a lot of people know that wrestling is still very popular.
I guess I see the argument they were making that it's far less popular than it used to be. But yeah, it is still definitely very big. I think people are very much aware of that.
Yeah, people are very much aware that there's still like a pretty good dedicated fan base to wrestling.
I probably wouldn't have thought as much about wrestling as I do if it weren't for one of the streamers that I watch. One of my streamers, he is a Mario Mario speedrunner, but he also is a huge fan of pro wrestling. He often talks about like shows and like collaborating with wrestlers and playing Mario with them. And I'm like, I think that's fun. It's a neat way to keep it alive. But I don't think I would have thought about pro wrestling if it weren't for hearing him continually talk about it. I'm referring to Grand Pooh Bear.
I figured.
Yeah.
I normally when you're talking about a streamer, I imagine two people in my head, either Grand Pooh Bear or Coney.
I thought you would have said Pop 'em Up, but yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
Pooh
Bear
right.
and Cody are like the two that I talk with you the most about outside of job stuff.
Yeah, like I guess one of the streamers you're a fucking editor for. Maybe that should have popped in my head.
I'm kind of surprised it didn't actually.
Well, I mean, haven't you edited for Grand Pooh Bear?
I've done some TikToks for Grand Pooh Bear, and then it was not what I'm used to doing. Not the issue of doing TikToks. I'm fine with doing TikToks. It's just the format of how we needed to get it done. Wasn't quite what I was hoping for. So plus that was around the time that I was getting a new job, and I'm like, I don't have the time to do that and a bunch of TikToks.
Anyway, no. And you know what wasn't on this list?
What? Furries. Yeah. Hold on. Do you think furries or pup play is more niche?
To the normies, probably pup play. Not a lot of people outside of like gay and kink spaces seem to know what pup play is.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Recently, I showed my brother a picture of me and my pup.
Aw, that's cute though.
And he was like, "Oh, you finally got one. I know you had said that you had liked it." And I was like, I love supportive family.
Yeah, your brother's really cool. Every time I hear about your brother, I'm like, he seems so supportive and kind.
Yeah, like my brother and my sister-in-law love them. I mean, you were in the car with me when I was listening to the book my sister-in-law recommended, and we got to a sex scene in the book.
Yep.
And I'm reading A Court of Thorn and Roses, not the book series. I'm on book number 2. I can't remember exactly what it's called. For those out there who are curious. But we got to a sex scene, and I was just like, whoops.
My sister sent this to me.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, this is the book my sister-in-law recommended. I'm enjoying it.
I like how when you introduced the idea to me, it was like, hey, you want to listen to me? You want to listen to the audiobook of Smut I've been listening to? And that was just how you introduced it. And I'm like, I think that's fascinating.
I knew that I was about to come up on a scene like that. And I was like, I just need you to know right from the beginning that
be aware of what's going to happen. Yeah.
This is what's going to happen in this audiobook.
Well, I appreciate the heads up. It was honestly a pretty good book from what I heard. Which again was the smut, but that's fine.
Which was a large part smut.
I heard a decent amount after the smut.
Well, you're right. You heard like the she went to go and spend time with Rhysand.
Yeah.
Rhysand, which is the one that
her basically getting kidnapped.
Yeah, kind of getting kidnapped against her will.
Yeah.
But sexily.
But, like in a hot way. No.
But in a
CNC
hot
baby.
way
No.
Of like men fighting over you. You know what I like? Oh. Thank you for listening to the show.
Okay, yep, good transition to the ending here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Which one's more popular, Magic the Gathering or Undertale? I want to know.
Leave a comment about whatever sub-community of these you're in, or if you're not in any of them, what sub-community you are in.
If you're a normie, I want to know that too. Like if you're not in any communities, like the most niche community you're in, or like the Casio watch community, I want to know.
If that's the most niche community someone's in, and they're listening to this podcast is the most niche community they're in. Let's be real here.
That is so true.
Let's be real.
Honestly, is your nichest category the Rank Masters category? whatever. If you're listening on Spotify or one of the podcast platforms, make sure to leave us a rating. Would love that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, thank you for listening. Have a great week.
I appreciate it. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. We'll see you in 2 weeks, probably.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Bye.
We'll see. Bye.